Hi, first graders. This week we're talking about classification again. Remember, classification is where we put things into groups. Last week when we did it, remember we fed Cookie Monster and we fed the dinosaur, and we said whether it was something Cookie Monster would eat, so we classified something as a cookie, or something the dinosaur would eat, which we remember he liked to eat dragons, so dragons. So we had some cookies and we had some dragons and we put them into groups. Right? That is classification. So the first thing I want to do this week is I want to read a story, all right? And it's called Little Blue Truck. And in this story, there are some different things, and these are the things I want to look for in our story. I want to look for things that are animals. I want to look for things that are transportation, so things that go, that move, and sounds that we hear, okay? So animals, vehicles, sounds, okay? So we're going to listen for that in the story, and then after that I maybe want to go outside and see if we can find those things outside in our neighborhood. Can we find animals and vehicles and sounds in our neighborhood, and we can classify them? Okay, so let's try that. All right, guys, the book is Little Blue Truck. All right, so remember how I said we're going to be looking for animals and vehicles and sounds in this book. Okay, so let's see what we can find. Horn went beep, engine purred. Friendliest sounds you ever heard. So beep is a sound, right? That's how we would classify that. And I see an animal, and I see a vehicle. Little Blue Truck came down the road. Beep, said Blue to a big green toad. Oh, an animal. We can classify some animals. Toad said croak. That's a sound, right? That's a sound that animals make. Toad said croak and winked an eye when Little Blue Truck went rolling by. Lots of animals and vehicles and sounds. Sheep said baa. Cow said moo. Oink, said a piggy. Beep, said Blue. Lots of sounds, right? Baa, moo, oink, beep. Those are all sounds, right? Let's see if we can get it a little closer so we can see. Cluck, said a chicken, and her chick said peep. Ma, said a goat. Blue said beep. Neigh, said a horse. Quack, said a duck. Beep, said a friendly Little Blue Truck. And look, there's all those animals. There's the truck and all those sounds that we hear, right? Ooh, here's a different vehicle, right? We can classify that as a vehicle. Honk, yelled a big dump truck. Coming through, I've got important things to do. I haven't got time to pass the day with every duck along the way. He's coming fast. I see an animal right there. Vroom went the dump around the curve. He saw a puddle and tried to swerve. Into the mud rolled the big fat truck, and his big important wheels got stuck. Oh dear, he's stuck in the mud. His heavy-duty dump truck tires were sunk down deep in muck and mire. Honk, cried the dump, and he sounded scared, but nobody heard, or nobody cared. So here's some animals over here, and here's the dump truck. And he made his big honk noise, right? Nobody came to help. Then, into the mud, bump, 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 some sounds, came the Little Blue Truck to help the dump. Little Blue pushed with all his might. Now Blue and the dump were both stuck tight. Oh no, he went to try and help, and now they're both stuck. Oh dear. Help, 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 cried the Little Blue Truck. Beep, 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 I'm stuck, I'm stuck. Everybody heard that beep, beep, beep. The cow came running, and the pig and the sheep. All these animals coming to help the two vehicles, right? Because they heard sounds. Up at a gallop ran the big brown horse. Goat jumped over the fence, of course. Then hen came flapping with the chick and the duck, and everybody pushed the Little Blue Truck. They're all coming to help Little Blue Truck. Head to head and rump to rump, they all pushed Blue, who pushed the dump. They couldn't quite budge that heavy load. Then who hopped up but the big green toad? Oh my goodness. How does he look? He looks like he might be strong. Let's see. All together, 1, 2, 3, one last push, and the trucks were free. They did it. So things that go, animals, right? Those are different classifications. Thanks, little brother, said Dump to Blue. You helped me, and they helped you. Now I see a lot depends on helping hands and from a few good friends. Let's listen for some sounds on this page. Beep, said Blue. Who wants a ride? Everybody scrambled to jump inside. Oink, quack, ba. Moo, cluck, peep. Neigh, croak, ma. Beep, beep, beep. The end. So in that story, we saw two things that go, two vehicles. Do you remember what they were? They were a truck and a big dump truck. The little blue truck and the big dump truck. Those were our vehicles. Then we saw lots and lots of animals, right? We could classify lots of things as animals. I saw horses and ducks and pigs and chickens and all those animals. Those were our animals. And then we heard the sounds that they make. Beep, oink, neigh, ba, all the different sounds. So those are the things we classified in our story, right? We classified those different things. So let's go on a walk around the neighborhood and see if we can hear some sounds and see some vehicles and see some animals, and let's classify what we see, okay? Okay, first graders, we are outside. So let's do some classification, okay? I'm gonna turn the camera around and we're gonna see if we can see some things that move, some things that go, that we can classify as things that go. So let's start with that one, okay? Things that go, things that move. Oh my goodness, I turned my camera around and look what I see. I see a car. Let's see what else we see. Can we see anything else that goes? A bike. Does that belong in the category for things that go? It does. What about this big thing? That is something that goes. I see lots of things that go. All right, guys, the next category, the next classification are animals, all right? Now, I only see one animal outside right now, and I'm gonna see if I can zoom in so you can see him. Hold on. Do you see him? I'm gonna zoom in. Oh, that's our neighbor dog, Moose. Moose is an animal. He belongs in the category for animals. Animals. All right, guys, our last classification was sounds. Let's listen for a second. Do you hear that scraping noise? My neighbor is painting his house and he is scraping. Should we have a look? You hear that sound? There it is. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Hey, so we went outside and we looked around and we made some classifications, right? First, we looked for things that go, right? We classified all the things that we saw that go. So we saw a car and a truck and a bike. Those all went over here in the category of things that go, things that we get from one place to another in. And then we looked around for animals, and we didn't see a lot of animals outside. There were a lot of animals in our book, right? There were horses and pigs and cows and ducks and sheep. But in my neighborhood, we saw a dog, right? He got to be in a category all by himself. And I really thought it would be louder outside, but we only heard one sound, and it was this scraping sound, right? We heard a sound, and that was the sound of my neighbor scraping his house. So we heard a sound, we saw one animal, and we saw a few different things that go. Now in the story, there were so many sounds. Beep, beep, oink, oink, ba, ba, moo, moo. So many sounds. And there were so many animals that came and helped the truck and the big dump truck get out of the mud. In our story, though, there were only a couple of things that go. There was the big dump truck and there was the little blue truck, right? So there were two things that go in their story, right? So I would love for you to go outside and see if you can classify things that you see in your neighborhood in those categories. So listen for sounds, look for animals, and look for things that go, and put them into categories and classify them. I'll see you guys next week.